Hey, hello, everybody, and good evening. Tonight is a first for me. This is the pilot episode of a new series that I wanted to put out called Talking Craps. Now, Vince Armini and Sue beat me to the punch earlier today and published a very similar type of a video, also called Talking Craps. So I'll tweak the name a little bit. We're a little bit different. But in this series, this is some of the things that I want to do is I want to talk about trip reports. We will talk about betting strategies. We're going to talk a little bit about dice mechanics. And basically, we're going to talk about anything craps. And as you join and you have questions or you have comments, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try to feature some of them as we go along. And so tonight, it's all about working out the kinks, working out the bugs that are obviously going to come up. Hey, Slambright, our first comment on the pilot episode. Welcome to the show, Mr. Slambright. So like I said, we want to do some trip reports, and it's not just going to be me talking. I'm going to be bringing in people from the Craps Nation, telling us about what how your trip reports to the casino went, and all sorts of things like that. But tonight, we're going to start with a recent trip report from my own experience. All right, so my favorite casino that I usually go to is a little bitty casino down in Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Now, before COVID, they had a nice 12-foot table with a semi-hard bounce, great crew, great players. But since COVID, they had shut it down, and they've actually replaced that table with this fancy electronic thing. Who would have thought a little bitty casino in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, comes up with a state-of-the-art craps table. Now, I have played on this a couple of times, and each time I start to like it a little bit better. The one thing I don't like about it is I normally shoot from stick left or stick right, and I can't do it on this table. Hey, great, we've got Lou Louie out there also. Yeah, so I normally shoot from left or right, but you have to lean so far over on this table, and I'm a short guy. I'm almost laying on the table in order to get over the edge. So I moved down to the end, and unfortunately, I can't do very well of setting at the end either. So I moved into a rhythm rolling kind of a strategy. Basically, I'm just picking up the dice and throwing it to the same spot every single time, kind of the same velocity. Very much like some sort of dice control, but I'm not really setting the dice. So let's take a quick look and see what we think about this place. Joe, thank you for the comments. Appreciate it. Yeah, so here I am. I'm shooting down at the end, and it's a very busy table. We like I kind of like it like a slot machine. All the bells and whistles designed to get you excited, keep you at the table, maybe bet a little bit more. And it works. I gotta say, it actually works. And you can see down there the place bets where the chips would be. They're just digital chips now. So the nice thing about this thing is there are no obstacles down at the end. See, no more bets, just like any other electronics craps machine. And I don't know if you saw it there, but there's not much of a bounce to this particular machine. Yep, and Michael Hall, I'm sure part of the reason is it requires less power. Absolutely. So there's only one person, that's Stickman. That's it. And one of the nice benefits of this at this small casino is that the table is open anytime that they have blackjack. In the past, it was only open after 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. and that's if the whole crew showed up. It was all sorts of obstacles to getting the whole crew in. So we've got Googs 5.0 out there asking what's the surface made of. So it's an LED surface, but on top of it is a plastic coating, and it's sticky. So I tried to rub my hands over to see what it felt like. It's not squishy, but it is sticky. And, I thought it was going to impact the quality of my rolls, and it did. that actually impacted in a positive way. I actually did a lot better on this electronic machine with the plastic table than I did on a microfiber felt or even a regular felt. It was actually, the more I played on it, the more I liked it. Lambright. And it's like Gorilla Glass. There's layered on top of the coated protection. Yeah, it is definitely well protected. And, just like any other electronic crafts machine, shoot to win or whatever they might be, they'll come up, they'll say hot shooter, and the flames on this table, they change colors. So after you get to 8, 15, or 20, the flames get hotter. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of fun to watch. And you see the pacing is actually moving pretty well. Okay. Googs is saying, do the dice bounce more or less than on a felt surface? All right, so I guess that's relative. If you play at Hollywood casinos, those things, every Hollywood I've ever played at has a tremendous bounce. But then you have some of the others that have almost no bounce. This is somewhere in between, but closer to that no bounce. Let's watch this next roll and see how that goes.
No more bounce.
All right, 17th roll. Yeah, see? So it still had a little bit of bounce to it. Yeah, so he's saying the surface kills the movement, and it does. It feels like the dice just sort of stick almost where they're at. There's not a lot of crazy bounce out of it. I tell you, if I could actually lean over the table, I think that would do very well on this surface. I know we've got Lou Louie out there, and he's played on a similar table. If he wants to put a comment out there how his how he felt the experience was, that'd be great. All right, and then on our left side, where you can see where the stick man is, you can see the last several rolls. Watch as people put bets. It's like a little laser shoots out from wherever they're standing. You can see those blue and purple lines coming out to where people are placing their bets. Kind of fun to watch. They get mad if both dice don't touch the back wall. Well, that's one of the reasons I love this casino is they don't get too caught up in making sure the dice hit the back wall. So that probably still depends on the casino that you're at. With this particular casino, they're pretty friendly. All right, where are we at? What roll was that? Looks like that one might have been the 19th roll.
Would you like to place a one-roll bet?
Now, also on this particular machine, the dealer actually triggers no more bets. In some casinos, it can be on a timer. And that could be a bit of a problem if people aren't familiar with how to place bets on electronic interface. Lou's out there saying he thinks after it's played on, it's going to start to stick. Now, there we go. So 7 out. And that was 20 rolls. All players, I don't know if you saw that, but it said all players, I think, won $1,292. So this little interface is fun. It's nice to see it, and it's just stimulating, visually stimulating. So anyways, that's pretty much my trip report for this past week. And I hope to get more people in and giving trip reports themselves. I know there's a group of people headed to Vegas here in about a week, and I hope to have somebody on the show and give us some recaps and see how well they did. Now, another thing, let's see here, getting a couple of comments here. Lou says he played on them at 2 different places. One was older, and there was a difference. Okay, so Lou, one of the questions earlier was, did they give you any heat for not hitting the back wall on these electronic machines? Did you ever see that in any of the places that you played? Let us know the answer to that. And like I said, I'm just messing around with the format. This is a pilot episode that I wanted to try and see if there was any interest in a show like this. And like I said, Vince Armenti and Sue beat me to the punch earlier today. All right, we got Ugly Dude out there. Very interesting. Flambright, considering the dealer is entering the rolls, I wonder how much human error will happen. I saw zero human error. They pulled the dice back to them, saw what it was, and then entered it into the machine. Now, I will also say that they made the wrong call, pulled it back, and corrected it based on what they saw, and then entered in the correct number. Um, it was very hard to see. This particular casino uses translucent dice, and the bright lights from underneath it. It was just very difficult to use. They need to change the dice there. Okay, Lou's going no heat at all. All right, Michael Hall is saying, Wager, do you ever play Downstream? Do we have Wager on here? Is Wager Me This on here? I would say yes. I've played it Downstream before, and I liked it, but that was pre-COVID days that I played down there. All right, so I'm going to switch over to another camera angle real quick and check the audio here. So, up this little table, I'm going to want to show off some betting strategies, and I don't have a strategy to show tonight. This is just more, like I said, this is a episode. It's trying to figure out, is this going to work? Will it, or are there problems? So I'm really curious if anybody out there. I have a different microphone that's a lot further away from me. Can you hear me okay from this camera view? And then what I'll probably do is, show a few things. Let's, do the 6 and the 8 or cross, and we'll talk about it and maybe roll a couple of things and see how well we do, pay them out. And these are going to be strategies that I've seen on the internet, either on YouTube, Facebook, or maybe I'll have a guest on the show with me that has a favorite strategy. We might show it here as well. Background noise overbearing, can barely hear you. Okay. Background noises. Okay. Yeah, so that back, but yeah, so I have a station set up over here. Unfortunately, I can't do it from my real table. My table is down in the basement. I don't have good internet down there, so I just, it would be a very poor quality show. So I've done this makeshift, this old 12 felt that I got off of Amazon over a card table, and I think it'll do just fine for purposes of what I wanted to use it for. All right, let's come back over here. Yeah, so that's all I really wanted tonight. Unless you guys have any questions, we can do a kind of a Q&A session. But I hope to have some guests next time I do one of these shows, and we can have a little bit more of an interactive show. Looks like we got Mel Lumho out there from Craps Hawaii. Welcome, Mel. All on a whim out there watching us. Awesome. Okay, very intermittent sound. I'll have to watch the playback and see where I might have some sound problems. Chat check. Yep. Can you? I can see your chat. I hope you can. All right. Slambright saying he doesn't hear any background sound. Hey, Dice Grinder. Yeah, Dice Grinder. He would be a great person. I'd love to have him on the show. I know he was at the casino. I believe it was earlier today, and seemed to be doing very well. All right, guys. So I'm not going to keep you on here tonight. Like I said, this was just a pilot episode to work out some of the bugs and see how well it's going to work. I think it's going to be a fun format if we can get some participation from different people from the Craps Nation. Get them on here, get them on Skype, and just have some good old conversations. Oh, well, one of the things that I think that will be a lot of fun is that with this software that I'm using, I have the ability to open up a YouTube video. And so what we can do, let's say I have Mel from Craps Hawaii on the phone with me or on Skype with me. We can bring up one of his videos, take a look at it, kind of talk a little bit about what's going on, and have a little bit of fun that way. All right, Dice Grinder saying yes anytime. All right, guys, so I'll be in touch. Let's get you guys on this show, and I'll try to figure out the schedule here soon. I want to do this weekly. I'm just not sure what night. Don't want to interrupt anybody's live performances. All right, guys, I'm going to call it quits here. Thank you very much for tuning in and helping me work out the bugs in this pilot episode, and we'll be back again in about a week. Thanks, everybody.